What's going on, Reds? Welcome to 1878 United Fans Over video. It's your boy Reanaldo here, hailing from the A. So I got something to say. Just want to review the transfer window that just concluded. What y'all think about the moves, and how y'all feel about the squad going forward after this window. We're in 13th place for the longest while. We did secure a seed in the Europa League, so we don't have any European games in February. We can focus on the league, we can focus on training that we clearly need, and let's see what the squad depth is going forward with all the ins and outs. Speaking of which, a big out, Marcus Rashford. So many mixed emotions about it. He's our boy. He's our boy. He's a red, and I'm honestly sad to see him go. I'm sad that it had to end this way. But part of it is his fault. And of course, part of it is on the ownership. In his 9-10 years here on the senior side, he has had, let's call it a tumultuous time. It's been a tumultuous time for Manchester United since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And in that tumult, it is kind of hard for any player to develop to their full potential, and that includes Marcus Rashford. If you think of any running gunning star in world football, and you look at the environment that they've been able to develop in, it's been stable. Could you honestly say that United's environment has been stable? Nope. So part of that has to be on all the managers from Louis van Gaal, who gave him a chance, up to Ruben Amorim. And it definitely has blame has to fall on the feet of the Glazers and their administration, Ed Woodward, Richard Arnold, everyone, the squads that they built around him, and everything else. But Rashy has to have some blame on how he's handled it. It's been a lot of pressure with, being a Manc born and bred boy, coming up the ranks. All the admirable things he's done in the city, feeding the kids, and in the country. Not just the city, the country. He's feeding your kids. He's feeding your kids. Marcus Rashford. He's feeding your kids. That stands on its own. Stands alone. And through that, he probably got a lot of enemies. Not probably. It is a fact. Even enemies within within our own fan base, because of political tangents. Just wanting to feel a how because he's done that and thinking he should stick to football. Nonsense. Anyway, he has, drawn pressure through that and through the media because, Manchester United is everyone's favorite whipping post, especially now in our nadir. We're not doing well. So they would naturally pick on Manchester United, and they would naturally pick on Manchester United stars like Marcus Rashford. And another point with Rashford is that he has been treated horribly by the media and even within the fan base. One of my favorite podcasts is the Muppeteers, and Paul mentioned this yesterday in a video. It's kind of sad to see, and part of it's true. Marcus Rashford has been treated more unfairly and roughly than Mason Greenwood has, and their crimes differ. I say crimes like this because Marcus Rashford's only crime really is probably not applying himself the way we have expected a Manchester United player to apply himself. We know what Mason Greenwood's crimes are, and part of the reason why people didn't really rag on Greenwood so much publicly is because that case was so shrouded in privacy, and trying to protect the identity of the victim. Um, Domestic violence and sexual violence is never acceptable. Me personally, I don't think it's a death sentence, but it should never go unpunished. And Mason Greenwood was punished. He was suspended immediately once those videos were released, and the club saw fit to let him go instead of giving him a second chance. And yeah, he said that the media has actually, gone in more than Marcus Rashford than Greenwood, because with a criminal case that has been shrouded like that, you can't really go in like that because I guess there are legal ramifications. But if you want to look at it that way, it's kind of true. Marcus Rashford has caught a lot of heat and disgraceful behavior from the media and some of the fan base. All in all, I wish him well. I want him to do a Villa for a lot of reasons, because I like him personally. He's a Mac boy, and it will help. It'll help his value in the transfer market if inevitably he leaves the club. This is looking like it's gonna go that way. I mean, I wouldn't want to never say never. I think he come back. I think he could play Amarin ball, but it's all about him applying himself. And with the new coach coming in, he chose not to, and I'm definitely upset about him for that. So now we got him a new move, a break, a different environment somewhat. I mean, I know Birmingham's not that far from Manchester, but it's a different environment from the day-to-day for his job, and hopefully he picks back up, gets his form, pick his setup, and he moves forward from there. And hope Man United moves forward as well. And the summertime comes and we decide to move together, great. If not, that's okay too. Other moves, we got Anthony on a move to Betis. Another one I wish well. Hopefully he improves his standing in world football. You get a good package for him, hopefully, in the summertime. And yeah, who else went out on loan? And luckily enough, we kept Garnacho. Hopefully, we didn't have to sell our studs for PSR. Garnacho is another one I think fits in the system. I know a lot of people don't think that, but I think he does. And the fact that he's only 19, I think his room for improvement is way up. And unlike Rashford, he has applied himself and he's changed. And Coach Ruben has responded to that in kind, and he's been playing him a lot more. And I hope he just builds and builds from here and falls into his side. Incomings, we got Dorgu, another starlet in world football. Decent fee coming in, decent wages too. I think his contract is till 2030, so 5 years. He's at 40K a week, which, I mean, if he decides to star, if he develops into a star player, I think he might be in line for a raise down the line. I'm hoping that happens at least. So we finally got a left wing back, and I hope that helps, this team, the system that Ruben is trying to implement. Hopefully in the summertime, we get a right wing back. For now, we have to trust Delo to hand it down on the right. Let's see how we go from there. Losing Licha is terrible. He's our best progressive center back, and strings the passes from the back pretty well. And losing him to that injury is kind of tragic. Especially he's been, like, I think since the year turned, even in December, he's been picking up form, being one of our best players. So really sad that we lose him, especially the day before the transfer window. So we could pivot and try to get a center back on loan or something. Or maybe the other incoming that's coming in from the Arsenal Academy that I think we're taking a liking to reading, which, on a banter standpoint, kind of like Heaven. He is a center back and he moves well with the ball. People were comparing him to Pogba in terms of how he carries the ball, especially for centre backs. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And the rumor has it that he's gonna fall. He might fall right into the first squad. So that's probably another addition we could look at too. Other additions we could look at in terms of coming back from injury. Don't hate me for this. Uh, Luke Shaw and Mason Mount. Seems like Shaw might be destined to be back in the next 2 weeks or so. And sometime in March, we should get Mason Mount back. Hopefully that all materializes and they don't see the physio for a very long time because I think they've seen enough of the physio. I know we all think they've seen enough of the physio. I'm not saying we have to depend on them because that's a fool's errand if you ask me, especially with the Luke Shaw's history and Mason Mount's recent history. They're on the physio's table more that they're on the training ground and on the pitch. Hopefully that changes because we need the depth. We need more bodies in training to push it aside, and we need more options day to day, match day to match day, I should say. Another point to look at over this window is the shedding of salaries. Sadly, we couldn't shed Casemiro's. It may be impossible to shed, so my conclusion is that he has to play somehow or the other until we can sell him. So hopefully we find spots to play Casemiro and he could help out. Rashford, Anthony, who else? Ericsson we're gonna lose in summertime. Luke Shaw and Mason Mount, they're all in the top 10 in salaries, and those names I just called, they either left on loan or they're not fit for purpose or they're hurt. So that is the eternal quagmire that United is in until form changes, injuries improve, or contracts expire. So hoping for some luck, hope luck favors us going into the end of the season here so we can meet some of our objectives. I think we need to dodge relegation. I think we should. We are 10 points clear, I think, of the relegation zone right now. So I think we're relatively safe, but we have to keep winning games, getting points. So seems like we get up for the big ones and try to, we find every way we can to lose against the lesser dance. Something we have to fix. February is a big month. We have FA Cup game. We have Everton. So we have some games against teams that are close to us that we really should be winning. We also have Spurs after Valentine's Day Sunday. That's a big game. Me personally, I like to beat the crap out of them because last few times we played them, we've got our asses beat. I'm not too happy about that, and neither should you guys. So hopefully somehow we could get out for that game. It's in London at home, but home is not a safe place for us this year. It doesn't look like it. We're out here getting beat badly at home, getting dragged by teams that 10 years ago were in the second division. So such are the times at Old Trafford. So looking at the priorities going into the springtime. Yep, dodging relegation, definitely. And I think we need to prioritize winning both cups we're still in, as hard as they may be. The FA Cup may be easier than the Europa Cup to win. I think we should definitely go and try to win the FA Cup. We have a quote-unquote favorable draw against Leicester this Friday, and we'll see how the balls are drawn. Pause. Coming up in the fifth round. Europa is going to be tough. We're looking at Galatasaray or Real Sociedad in the round of 16, and it's only going to get more interesting after that. But like I said, I feel like we definitely get up for the bigger teams. So hoping that that angle stays and we go on some really decent cup runs and we win one or both of them. Just remember, if we win the FA Cup, we get a berth into the Europa League, so that's some money. And if we win the Europa League, we get a berth in the Champions League, which is a lot of money. So, the consequences of missing the Champions League is a loss of $50 million, which we would have to try to find somewhere, somehow. So, um, and our finances are not that good. Not good, I should say. And the way that Ineos is moving, um, as some of my friends on the channel here have said, maybe things are worse than they're letting on. So, um, it is of sporting and financial priorities that we should win these cups. Um, Other than that, just to wrap it up, um, because we're Manchester United and we're a club that believe in youth, I'm glad we didn't have to sell Garnacho or Menu. And in the coming weeks, I hope we could see the likes of Cheeto Obi Martin or Heaven playing well in the first 11 or the first squad. That would be something really interesting I would like to see, especially with Cheeto Obi, since our strikers ain't striking. Um, we have 4 goals between Rasmus and Xerxes. Absolutely terrible. Between no service and just not being in the right spots, doing the right things, controlling, passing and moving. Those guys are flattering to deceive. They're not doing well at all. I think Rasmus could definitely improve his game, and service could definitely improve. Uh, Xerxes, he just needs to find some consistency, in his game in terms of controlling the ball and moving more reliably. Uh, Rasmus needs to just do that, period. So hopefully the form of our strikers change, and maybe the promotion of a Cheeto Obi Martin could push the needle for those guys and motivate them to do better. So we'll see. Uh, but overall, I know we're not feeling good coming out of this transfer market, but we set some salary. We got a left back, and maybe we are prepped and pined for a big summer window to improve the squad, get a right back, get a striker, get another center mid, and some more depth. So let's go from there. Hope for the best. Help the Reds. Be positive. Talk to y'all next time.